Hey everybody, this is Brian with BearCards34. Today I've got another Blast from the Past TTM video. This is where I highlight TTMs that I received when I was a kid back in the early 90s. And so today I'm going to start things off with this guy right here, Rufus Porter. The first four of these autographs that I received back have kind of a theme, which is they all sent me a Proline Portraits autograph. And if you notice here, these are actually certified, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing I'll tell you guys about these cards, when you would pull these from packs, if you notice, these are certified right down here, these three cards right here. Sam Weish, oh man, what was that guy's name? Tracy Johnson, literally the least known name in the entire set, and I pulled that. And this one right here, Hall of Famer Tom Flores. But as you notice, all three of these autographs are signed on the back. Every card that I've seen pulled from a box with the autograph, they've all been signed on the back of the card. But I did receive quite a few TTMs from players in the mail, and every one of them is signed on the front. So that was kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure Proline must have given the players a stack of these for them to keep, and these would have been the cards that they signed to send back to fans who wrote. So Rufus Porter was actually a really good player. He's from Louisiana, and he played his college ball at Southern. He had a 10-year career. 7 of those were with the Seahawks. He finished up with the Saints and the Buccaneers, but he was a 2-time Pro Bowler, and in 1989 he was a first-team All-Pro and made the Seahawks' 35th anniversary team. Which is pretty impressive considering that he was an undrafted player out of college. He twice had double digits in quarterback sacks. He was also a really good special teams player. So I was very happy to get that back when I was a kid. All right, next up, got a Philadelphia Eagle. Shout out to Brian from Walk and Box. So again, this is another one of those Proline cards that is stamped in the front right there and autographed. So Mike Shad was an offensive lineman with the Philadelphia Eagles. What was really nice is he sent me all of these cards. So I did not send him any cards, and he actually sent me back quite a few, including this one right here that I had never seen before or since. Queens, Golden Gales, yeah, so there we are, right here. This is what's kind of cool about this card, and this is kind of a highlight of this. Mike Shad was born in Ontario, Canada, and he played at Queen's University in the Ontario University Athletics Conference. So, you know, this highlights him being on the Eagles and shows him with his, a nod to his college at Queen's University. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this card is, 1991 would be my guess. So a pretty cool looking card there. But honestly, I'm really thrilled that he was able to send me 4 cards back signed, including one that's Proline certified. He was drafted in the first round of both the NFL and the CFL back in 1986. He was the 23rd player picked in the NFL draft. He was drafted by the Rams. But then he spent 5 years with the Eagles, and then he finished off his career in Canada with the Ottawa Rough Riders. He's actually the first lineman from Queens to be drafted in the first round. He talked about how it was a big jump for him to go from Canada to LA. He felt like it was a new game. He was kind of learning on the fly. And he said that he really didn't learn how to truly play the game of NFL football until he went to the Eagles and was lining up against the late, great Jerome Brown in practice and training camp. And he said that he and Jerome had some really epic battles, and that was really what conditioned him and trained him. And he felt like the practices were against Jerome Brown were more challenging than the actual NFL games themselves. So he gave Jerome Brown some real credit for that. And he actually said once, Buddy Ryan came to him and said to Mike Shad, "You just got the best compliment you'll ever get in your career. Jerome Brown is sick of practicing against you." And so Mike Shad really appreciated that comment. So anyway, I'm really happy to have these. I thought those were quite cool to pick those up. So thank you, Mike Shad. All right, next up, Robert Awol. This is him with the Dallas Cowboys. And again, there's a certified card right there. All right, now, so obviously Robert Awol sent me that, and he also sent me this card right here, which I really like. This is a Louis Rich crime card. So that's him with the Phoenix Cardinals. So Robert Awol was actually born in Germany. We had somebody from Canada. Here's a Germany, someone born in Germany. He attended high school in California, and he attended San Diego State for college. After being a redshirt quarterback at Nevada to start his college career. He was a third-round pick back in 1987 for the Cardinals, and Jay Novacek was actually the starting tight end for the Cardinals, but he got injured and was out for the year, so Awol stepped in and was fantastic. So as a rookie during a strike-shortened season, he had 42 receptions, which was second most in the NFC for tight ends. He was voted the Rookie of the Year by Sporting News and UPI. And he did so well that he became the starter for the Cardinals in '88. Novacek was then traded off to the Cowboys. Funnily enough, Robert Awol was then traded to the Cowboys in 1990 and went up against Jay Novacek for the tight end battle again just a few years later. He did have quite a few injuries after his first few years. His production dropped quite a bit. He did play just a little bit in Buffalo as well, but he was actually out of the NFL by the '93 season. But his rookie season, 1987, was just fantastic, and for a few years there with the Cardinals, he was quite the player. So very happy to have those as well. Okay, and for our last Proline certified card, we have Eric Hill right there. Nice auto. Very happy to have this card as well. So I think I said Eric Hill. Eric Hill was also on the Cardinals, and he also wrote me back, but this is Eric Swann. Okay, so Eric Swann right here. He was a very talented player. He was the 6th overall pick in the '91 draft, and that was after never having played college football. I remember that was kind of the big deal about him that season when we were collecting rookie cards, that this was a guy who had never played in college. He went straight from high school he had actually planned to play for North Carolina State University, but he was ruled academically ineligible. And so he joined a semi-pro team called the Bay State Titans in Massachusetts, and he was making $5 an hour as a salary with that team. And then 1 year later was the 6th pick of the draft. He signed a 5-year contract, made quite a bit more than $5 an hour. And in fact, in 1998, he signed a 5-year, $25 million deal with a $7.5 million signing bonus. So obviously, he definitely made his mark in the NFL. Eric Swann was waived back in 2000, and then he went on to play with the Panthers for just a little bit and lined up alongside Reggie White. But Eric Swann definitely had quite a nice career in the 1990s. All right, next up, I really love this card right here. This is Ozzie Newsome. That is his action pack card, which Ozzie autographed, as well as a 1986 Topps card. So Ozzie Newsome, a great tight end, one of the greats of all time, Hall of Famer, drafted by the Browns back in 1978. Played his whole career with Cleveland and then went on to be in their organization afterwards and was with the team when they moved to Baltimore. And I believe he was a general manager there when Baltimore won a Super Bowl. So he's had quite the successful career both on the field and off in the NFL. Very happy to have these autos. I think Ozzie Newsome has a really sharp, really nice autograph. And these are a couple of my favorites from my collection from back in the day. All right, next up, I have a center for the Miami Dolphins. Now, he only signed this as Jeff. However, here's the return. I still have this from back in the day. So this would have been returned to me in 1993. So this is from Jeff EulenHake, the center for the Dolphins, and Dan Marino. But he said, "Dear Brian, thank you for the kind words. I'm still recovering. Hopefully I will have played against Buffalo or Washington, if not at least against the Browns in my home state. Hope your season is going well and stay healthy. Anyways, thanks for the support. Go Fins, Jeff. So I thought that was a really nice. I always love it when the players took the time to write back. Jeff EulenHake was a 5th-round draft pick back in '89 from Ohio State, and he also played for the Saints and Redskins. He started in 112 games, and he's one of those Dolphin players, along with Dan Marino, Scott Mitchell, and a few others who had a small part in the Ace Ventura Pet Detective movie back in the day. But very happy to get that autograph from Jeff EulenHake. I mean, really, it's just first name auto, but the letter is what really matters to me. Always appreciate when they take the time to do that. Okay, so speaking of letters, this one right here is from Leonard Marshall. So I'll go ahead and show you. Here's a card of Leonard Marshall from Upper Deck 91. But Leonard Marshall was a very, very good player in the NFL. He had a 12-year career. He's from Louisiana, played for LSU, and then was drafted by the Giants in the 2nd round back in 1983. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. He has about 80 quarterback sacks, which is in the top 3 all-time for the Giants. 2-time Pro Bowler, 3 times. He had 3 quarterback sacks in 2 games of the Super Bowl, so he was very successful in the playoffs. He's also a 2-time NFL Defensive Lineman in the year. In 1985, he had 15.5 sacks, and then in '86, he had another dozen sacks, so did quite well. He's very famous for a hit on Joe Montana back in January of '91, which is highlighted on this Upper Deck card. Poor Joe right there. But Joe Montana, on this play right here in the championship game, ended up getting knocked out of the NFL for almost 2 years before he played in another game. And then he went on to play for the Chiefs after that. That was a hit from Leonard Marshall, and that was in 1991. In fact, in 1990, the season of 1990, Leonard Marshall was in a contract dispute and was holding out. And then it was at the end of that year, in January of '91, that this big hit on Montana happened, which makes this letter for me just super, super cool. If you notice here, he wrote this from a hotel, Mansfield Host Hotel in Massachusetts. And so the letter here, "Hey Brian, it's a brief note from your number 1 player, LM number 70 of the Giants. How's Utah? Hopefully quite pleasant, I'd assume. Well, all is safe in old New Jersey. I'm getting ready to play my last preseason game against the New England Patriots. I hope we kick their butts good." And then San Francisco will get the hopefully San Francisco will get the message finally that we're much better than last year. Well, I've got to run. This has been the bus is waiting. So listen, take care, stay in school. Obey your mom and dad. Peace out, Leonard Marshall. So this was really, really cool. This right here, I believe, if I remember right, was right before the season. And so they definitely showed San Francisco a message that year. But yeah, he wrote a very thoughtful letter. This is one of my favorite TTMs from when I was young. And still really love this. I thought that was very nice of him to put all that thought and care into sending the message, the letter, having the hotel stationery, all of that. Just awesome stuff. So very appreciative of that one as well. Okay, and last up for today, another TTM that I was really excited to get, Dave Krieg. He's from Wisconsin, born in 1958. And he attended a very small private school that I don't even believe exists anymore called Milton College. And he was an undrafted free agent for the Seahawks back in the day. And he ended up having a very successful career. He spent 19 years in the NFL, 12 with the Seahawks. And he was a 3-time Pro Bowler in '84, '88, and '89. In 1991, he led the NFL in completion percentage. He's in the Seahawks Ring of Honor. He played for a lot of other teams to finish out his career, including the Chiefs, the Lions, Cardinals, Oilers. He even played with my Bears back in 1996. And at one time, he held the distinction of having the most career fumbles in NFL history. That was attributed both to the long career that he had, and then also that he had unusually small hands for a quarterback. That's what everybody used to say. However, he no longer holds the record thanks to Brett Favre and Warren Moon, who both surpassed him. But anyway, he had quite a long career, successful career. And this is personalized. Brian, thanks for the nice letter. Best always, Dave Krieg, 17. So very happy to have that one. And then this was not a TTM, and I can't remember if I ever showed this before or not, but back in the 90s, this would have been 1990, I believe, maybe 91. Jim Plunkett came to a card show in Salt Lake City. He was there over the summer on my birthday. And in order to go through and meet with the player who was there, you could purchase a picture and then go in line, and then they would sign it. And I was at the very front of the line, and it was not yet time to start. And so I was at the front, and I was directly in front of Jim Plunkett, but they didn't give the go-ahead yet for us to sign with him yet. And so he started chatting with me and asked how I was doing and where I was from and what brought me to the card show. And I let him know, and it was actually my birthday that day. And so for my birthday, it was to be able to go there, meet him, get his autograph, get a couple cards from the show. And so he actually personalized it to me. I didn't even ask him to do it. He just, to Brian, happy birthday, Jim Plunkett. And I that really meant a lot to me, just, that he remembered and was thoughtful enough to put that on there for me. So a very cool birthday wish from Jim Plunkett. I was a big fan of his already, but even more so after that. Obviously, he was retired at that point, but I had collected a lot of his cards. I think his last card in a set was 1987 Topps, if I remember right. And that was the first year that my brother started collecting, and that set is what got me into the hobby as well. So I was very excited to be able to meet with him, chat with him a little bit, and have that. And so even now, looking back on it, that brings back some good memories. So anyway, that's my video for today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Everybody take care, and until next time, go Bears.